Hey guys, do you have an Instant Pot and no idea what to do with it? Wow, that sounds like one of those infomercials. It's not, but today I thought I would show you one of the recipes I make all the time in my Instant Pot. I love my Instant Pot if you are at all a viewer of mine. And so mashed potatoes, steamed potatoes, potatoes in your Instant Pot are super, super easy. So that's what we're going to make today because I am making dinner for my kids, and we're going to have mashed potatoes, gravy, and things like that. So let me show you what I'm going to do. First of all, you need your Instant Pot. And mine is a 6-quart, in case you're wondering, or any pressure cooker will do. I like russet potatoes, so that's what I'm going to use. And then you need a basket for inside. Now, you can use multiple things. It does come with a little grate rack in there. Where is that thing? Where is that thing? Let me see if I can find that. Okay. Sorry, I should have been better prepared. Okay, it comes with this. The Instant Pot does. And you can use that. You can just set that in there and put your potatoes on top. I like to cut my potatoes into bits, and sometimes if you do that with this, they fall all over the place when you're trying to pull it out. But you can use this. You can also use a metal or plastic steamer. That fits in there as well. That will work. Or these little silicone ones that I picked up at the dollar store just so that I could show you. That will also work. But then these handles are a little bit low, so it could be a little hard to get the potatoes out, whereas with this one, because the handle's in the middle, it's easier to get the potatoes out. So these two things will work. But what I have and what I end up using almost all the time is one of these baskets that's actually a steamer basket that's actually meant for the Instant Pot. I put off buying one of these for the longest time. I just used this or this, and you don't need that basket. But if you steam vegetables, potatoes as much as I do, I found that this little basket, because of this handle, is so handy. It fits in there perfectly. You can fit a lot of food inside there, and that is the way to go. So that's what you need. And then all you need is 1 cup of water. You need obviously to have moisture in here in order for the potatoes to cook. So I'm going to peel the potatoes, and then I'm going to show you how we get them started. Because I want to make a fair amount, I'm going to cook a fair amount of potatoes up. It doesn't take any longer to cook a few or a lot. So let me just peel these, and then I will come back to you with for the next step. Now that I've peeled a lot, I'm going to chop them into halves or threes if they're large. I've had several people tell me lately that they have an Instant Pot. They thought they would use it a lot, but that rhymed. But they really don't know what to make in it. So, like, seriously, this is one of the basics. Because most people like mashed potatoes. Not everybody. But mashed potatoes is a staple, especially this time of year. And making them in your Instant Pot is so easy. It's not that they take a long time on the stove, but they tend to, well, at least when I used to boil potatoes on the stove, they would boil over, make a heck of a mess, and that was never good for cleanup. And I find making them in the Instant Pot really is a low mess way to make them, because you end up mashing them in here as well. All right, so I've got my Instant Pot, and I'm going to put 1 cup of water in here. I would recommend putting, I I would recommend putting 1 cup of hot water in there, just so that it comes up to a temperature faster. But you need at least 1 cup of liquid in here, because otherwise it will dry out and you'll get a error message that says burn. All right, so then we're going to put these in here. Put the lid on. Make sure this is to sealing. Okay, make sure that whatever pressure cooker you have it set to sealing. And then we're going to press manual 8 minutes on high pressure and then let it do its thing. When it comes to pressure, it will start counting down from 8 minutes. And then I would turn it off and do a quick release. Just make sure that when you're doing that quick release that you're very careful. I often will pick it up and put it on my stovetop here with the vent fan going, so that the steam goes up the vent fan and doesn't release the moisture into the air in the tiny house. So I'll see you back here in, it'll take a couple minutes to get up to temperature and then for it to seal. So 10, 12 minutes or so. Okay, the potatoes are done. And I have done the quick release. So now what I'm going to do is get this inner bowl out. And it is hot. There. So we've got the potatoes. They're cooked. I want to get rid of whatever water is left in here. And then bring your Instant Pot back. And what we're going to do is we're going to melt the butter in here, because we're going to mash everything back in here. Put this pot back in there. It's now empty. Turn it to saute. And now what you're going to do is you're going to put your butter in there. Use whatever kind of vegan butter you like. I like this Becel. It's easy and it's readily available. Sorry, but whatever you want. So that's going to start to melt, and then what I'm going to use for the milk portion is this Earth's Own oat milk for cooking. This is new. You use it like cream. You can use it in your coffee. You can use it to froth. I don't know if you can whip this, but I use this for cooking because it doesn't impart a flavor. That's what I really like about this. And it doesn't have any added sugar in it. So it gives that creaminess without adding any kind of a flavor to it. So I don't know if you can hear that, but the butter is starting to sizzle. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this in there for now. You can always add more after, but you can't really take it away if you add too much. And then what I like to do is add a little bit of this garlic and herb seasoning here, this Clubhouse garlic and herb seasoning. Sorry, that light is really bright, but just to give it a little extra sort of garlicky flavor. You don't have to do this. Do whatever you normally do for your mashed potatoes, basically, is all that I'm saying. And then I'm going to mash these manually. My mom always used her hand blender to mash mashed potatoes so they'd get really whipped and creamy. I don't have a hand blender. I used to, but I gave it away when I moved into the tiny house. So now what I have is my stand mixer, which I'm not going to use for this. So I'll just hand mash them. I don't mind if there's a little bit of lumps here and there. And then of course you're going to want to add salt and pepper to the mashed potatoes as you're tasting them. So once the butter starts to melt, is all melted, then add your potatoes back in. Make sure that you make a mess. Make sure that the butter, and now I turn the saute off. because I just wanted to heat up the butter, get it melted. And so now what I'll do is I'll pull this out and I will mash these by hand. Adding more butter and cream, that oat cream, as necessary to get the consistency that I like. I think I'll add a little bit more. I found that when I used other, like even regular oat milk, unsweetened oat milk, or soy milk, anything like that, almond milk, it always gave the mashed potatoes a kind of a flavor. But when I use this oat cream, it doesn't do that, which is really kind of nice. Not that I mind those flavors, it's just that sometimes you just want it to taste like mashed potatoes. And the butter and a little bit of the garlic in there. Oops, so you can see how nice and creamy that is. Whew, I'm getting a facial as I'm doing this. But I'm just going to taste this and see if it's got enough of everything that we want it to have. Needs more salt. It's that simple to get delicious creamy mashed potatoes. I hope you try it. Like I say, don't be afraid of your Instant Pot. A lot of things that you can make on the top of your stove, you can make in your Instant Pot. Again, could you have made this on the stovetop? Yes, but there's always the potential of it boiling over when you're boiling the potatoes. What I find is this is just so tidy. It doesn't take up any room on your stovetop if you're making a big meal and you need those burners for something else. It's really fast in the Instant Pot, and then you just mash it right in here. If you wanted to, you could serve it right out of here if you were doing a potluck. Another thing that you can make in your Instant Pot. It's super easy to make. Hope you try it. Let me know what you think if you do. So I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there, and I will talk to you next week.